here to bring you news, politics, and whatever else tickles my fancy. Welcome to the Ho Ho Show, and I am your host, Ho Ho. All right. Welcome to the Ho Ho Show. All right, guys. Back a long time ago, I was doing, just looking for news, and I stumbled across this app. I think it was called Pulse or Pulse News. I'm not 100% sure, which one it was called, but I used it, and it was a good news hub. Putting together news from a lot of different sources, putting it all in one location, and there you go. And it wasn't the easiest app in the world to use, but, it worked. It did the job. It was functional. I had no problem with it. And this was like several Android versions ago. I mean, this goes back to like Android version 2.3.7. if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, this goes back a ways, guys. I'm talking some history here. So, I used it. I liked it. It was awesome. And, getting progression. Now I've got a different phone, and I was looking around for for news apps, and I started using one. And, it wasn't a hub. It was just of one particular site. And I was really wanting to go back to a news hub, something that really took all kinds of, brought a lot of information from a lot of different places together. And I stumbled across Flipboard. And I kid you not, I mean, this app, and I know I've brought this up before, but I mean, come on, I'm impressed with it. I gotta admit. And, it brings a lot of different news together from a lot of different places. It is highly customizable. I mean, it did not take me but, 5 minutes to totally set this thing up and have it customized to me. The stories that I wanted, the topics that I wanted, and even throwing in some stuff in there to, further customize it besides just topic-based. So, I mean, it was... I'm so satisfied with this. It's not even funny. I'm loving it. That's what I use. And in looking on this app, they have an inside Flipboard daily edition top 10 week of September 4, 2017. And is what it does. It's just like what it says. Top 10 stories of the week. Here you go. So it is Sunday, just about ready to be hitting onto Monday, and let's go ahead and go with, just a rundown, throwing in some stuff on there. I think I've only got like 4 or 5 stories in this that I'm wanting to throw at you, but here we go. One headline, Hurricane Irma, live updates, CNN. Yeah, if, Hurricane Irma, I mean, if you guys are in the path of this thing, I mean, please, be careful. Get out of the way of this thing. I mean, when it comes to storms like this, hurricanes, tornadoes, there's not really much you can do besides get out of the way. Just get out of the way. So, it seems as though from, just different news that I've heard and accounts that I've heard that people really are, they're leaving the area. They are evacuating. And, I mean, this thing, I was talking with a buddy of mine today, and, this is going to go up and hit, Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, it's just, this sucker can potentially cause some damage, cause some problems. So, please get out of the way of this, and just, please do that. Number 2, Trump sets emergency aid in motion in deal that upsets the GOP. And this came from the Associated Press. The top line on this one is, President Donald Trump ignored seething Republicans and made good on his deal with Democrats, signing legislation that links $15.3 billion in disaster aid to an increase in the U.S. borrowing limit. The Democrats are good to their tagline, no, never waste a good tragedy, or however exactly that goes. You guys know what I'm saying, but never waste a good something bad happening. Good to their word. Here this is, and as my grandpa would say, those damn Democrats. This is the thing about them that really honked me off, okay? You had Hurricane Harvey, and he wanted to get, and this was something that needed to be done. He an aid bill, all right? And the Democrats are like, oh no, you don't get this unless you raise the debt ceiling. They put, I'm not going to get into that. But, they raised the debt ceiling, and this is one of them things. You know what? I am going to get into that. No, I'm not going to get into that. I'll get that a little bit later. But yeah, so I mean, it ticks me off about Democrats that they, here they are, they control nothing, but yet they control everything. They have no power, but they hold all the power. Weak Republicans. All right, but I'm going to get more into that a little bit later. So yeah, and it's like, with Trump, it was a deal that had to get done. Aid needed to get delivered. He was backed into a corner, and he did what he felt he had to do. I'm sure that's more or less what it amounted to. I mean, I haven't read a whole heck of a lot on this topic. I have read some stuff into it. I'm not completely ignorant about it. Not entirely at any rate, but I've read into it a little bit, and this is just one of them things that that's what it seems like to me. Knowing how Democrats are, of course this is what they did. This is what they've done in the past. So it's not a far cry to say that's what happened this time too. So moving on, next story, Mexico earthquake kills at least 61 and sparks mass evacuations. And this is coming from The Guardian. Top line in this is the strongest earthquake to hit Mexico in a century has left at least 61 people dead, toppling houses, damaging hospitals and government offices, and sparking mass evacuation. Okay, all tragedy is bad. So, My heart goes out to those, 61 people dead, definitely. This is not something to make jokes about at all. These guys need help. Let's do something to help them. But this is also one of the things that this concerns me in another area, or in another aspect. Tectonic plates, shifting of them things, it tends to be a domino type of effect. Okay, I live in Illinois, right? Pretty close to the Mississippi River, and along the Mississippi River, at least in the general vicinity of it, I don't 100% remember where this fault line is, but I think it's called the Madrid fault line, if I'm not mistaken. And listening to geologists, I believe, and different people. I hate it when the thoughts are there, but the stream doesn't want to come together. At any rate, listening to these guys, the last time this fault line, we had an earthquake and this fault line really cut loose. All right. It was reported that the Mississippi flowed backwards. It was reported that the earth shook in such a way that it looked like waves crashing in the ocean. Sand was just in the air because of the magnitude was that bad. And this was back in a time when, the population out in the area wasn't all that, it wasn't very populated, not near as populated as what it is now. So, you think about, just, with St. Louis and, Davenport, just different cities that are along this fault line. We're looking at some real problems that this does actually cut loose. We really are. This has the potential to be one of the most devastating earthquakes in our history. It really does. So, just one of them things be mindful of. Okay? Earthquakes, dominoes. Just be mindful of it. Sorry. Next headline, Trump ends DACA. Calls on Congress to act. NPR, Vanessa person. Yeah. Top line, the Trump administration Tuesday formally announced that it will end the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival Plans, also called DACA, putting an expiration date on the legal protections granted to roughly 800,000 people known as dreamers, who entered the country illegally as children. Now, this little caveat goes back to what I was talking about with the other story, and that was with the Hurricane Harvey disaster aid. All right. So, guys, okay. DACA was signed by Obama. This does not require Congress to have their hands in. It was signed in as an executive order. It can be signed out as an executive order. It was overreach. This was something that Obama himself said previously, that before he did it, that he cannot do this. All right, immigration is solely in the hands of Congress. This is nothing that the president and the executive branch has anything to do with. It's totally in the hands of Congress. All right. So why he should even be including Congress in this, I have no idea. That's one of them things that irritate me. And this is one of them things too. Congress, take note. All right. Pay attention. If you guys don't step up and follow through with your campaign promises, then those whom your constituents are going to stay home. We are not going to get up off the couch. We are not going to put down the beer, not going to put down the coffee. We are not going to shut off the TV to go to the ballot box and elect somebody just because it has an R in front of their name if they are not worthy of the office. That is a Democrat thing. They are the ones who tote the D. Conservatives, Republicans, that is not what we're about. You have to be worthy of the office for us to get up and elect you in. You guys need to be thanking Trump, because if it wasn't for Trump, we wouldn't have control of 33 states. Okay? And if you guys don't act, and I mean act now, I mean get the job done. This is stuff that should have been written up, with the whole repeal and replace Obamacare. This is stuff that should have been done before you guys even got to Washington. Started that crap on day one. And here it is a year later, and you're still fighting amongst yourselves, still trying to say that, oh, we've got to get help from the Democrats. Why? The Democrats didn't get help from us. How many Republicans were there whenever they voted on this? I don't think there was any. It was something that was done in the middle of the night. The only reason why it even seen the light of day is because they had to go back because it was declared to be unconstitutional and they had to change a couple things. All right. I may be a little wrong on some of my details, but I've got the points. I've got the bullet points pretty well down. If you guys don't straighten up, you're not going to see another term in that office. Republicans will stay home. And to the American people, I also warn you this, that if it happens, and, mark my words, and I don't I'm not a big prediction type of a person. I'm really not. But, this is a pattern that Democrats has proven over and over again. So it's not a far-fetched to claim this. Democrats are going to hold the nation hostage because what they want is amnesty. And as soon as Democrats have control again, that's exactly what's going to be put on the president's table, no matter whom it is. Trump, a different Republican, or a different Democrat that throws the R in front of his name, or an actual Democrat. You're going to see it. You're going to see amnesty. And they are going to hold the country hostage and threaten a government shutdown if the president doesn't sign whatever they want into that bill. You've heard them threaten this stuff already. Democrats. With the Congress that is controlled Republican by 33 states. What power do the Democrats have? Why do we need the Democrats? We don't. Get your shit together, guys. This is ridiculous. Come on. All right, I digress. Next headline. Criticism of Equifax data breach. Let me read. Wow. You know what? Why I can't read on this, I have no idea. Criticism of Equifax data breach response mounts. Shares tumble. Okay, so I'm not really going to read a headline into this, but basically what it amounts to is, there was a big old security breach with Equifax. A lot of data was, hacked, and they were hacked. A lot of information was stolen. So this is something that, pay attention to. I mean, guys, this is, I want to plug in a business out there, or at least a type of business, and that is identity protection, identity theft protection. I forget the company out there. Wow, I wish I had them on my mind right now. But there is a good one out there that I hear advertised from time to time. I don't remember, but you know what, guys? I mean, this is something that if you have, the good credit, and if you want to protect that credit from identity theft, you've got to get something that protects it. Get identity theft protection. Please do that. Okay. This is a protection to you, to your family, even. All right. Definitely get that. Another thing I want to throw out there is with, day traders, stock market stuff. Okay. One of the things you learn when it comes to buying stocks is you buy low, you sell high. So if Equifax has been taking a hit on this, I just want to let you know, guys, this is the time to buy. Even if the company does end up going under because of this, which, I mean, I don't know. I guess anything's possible. But pay attention to the shares. Pay attention to Wall Street. There's all kinds of good apps out there. I believe E-Trade is one of them that offers, good package, relatively cheap and whatnot. Another app out there that I know of that does e-trading, and that's a Robinhood. It doesn't have the detailed information in it as much as E-Trade has, but I do believe it is a lot cheaper than E-Trade. But, definitely, it's one of them things. I mean, if this goes down really low and you can, really get on the ground floor of buying their stocks, okay? If they do end up falling, okay, let's just put it this way. They might go down, but after this settles up, settles out again, settles up, settles out, yeah, whatever. Once they get this figured out, their stock's going to go back up again, okay? And even if it doesn't, depending on how low it goes, you're not out much. And if they do end up shooting up again, you guys stand to gain so much more money. So pay attention to the trading, pay attention to, their shares, and just pay attention to it. Get in the E-Trade, get in the Robinhood, and just find out exactly how low it's going and what you can buy it up for, what you can afford. And, I wouldn't really recommend throwing a lot of money into it. But then again, that just depends on how low it goes. I haven't gotten in there to find out how low it's gotten yet. I really haven't. I'm going to be honest with you. Not at all. But anytime I see something like this, that, something like this that causes their stock to tumble, that's when you need to pay attention. Pay attention to them. And because you stand to make some money on it. You really do, So, yeah, that just gets me all giddy inside. So, yeah, that looks like that pretty well covers what I was wanting to, address and talk about. Another thing I kind of want to throw in there, just a little bit more on this. Guys, I really want to see a Dresden file series, a series of movies, whatever. I know I mentioned this before, but, I've got, if you're familiar with the books whatsoever, I've read pretty much every one of them, but one of them that was only co-written by Jim Butcher, and he is the author of the Dresden Files. I've listened to every one of them on Audible numerous times by James Marsters. Great series, very well done, very funny, very, there's a lot of good things in there. Put aside the whole, witchcraft and wizardry aspect of the books, and it teaches a lot about life, a lot about self. It throws a lot of comedy in there. I mean, it is really very well done books. I can't stress that one enough. Very well done books. And I would love to see a movie about this. And of course, the actor whom I would like to play Harry Dresden is, of course, Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he would be absolutely amazing. And the other person whom I would like to see as his female counterpart, the one who plays Detective Karen Beckett, would be, or the actress, or in the book, her name is Karen Beckett. Holy crap. Karen Murphy. But the person whom I would like to play that role is the gal who plays Kate Beckett in Castle. I don't remember what her name is, but she has it down. Just that look, that ticked off look that she gives, Castle is the same type of thing that, Karen Murphy gives Dresden. So, I mean, it cracks me up. There's a lot of different stuff in there that it cracks me up with it. Other casting ideas that I've had. But, if you guys are fans of the book, let me know as far as different people who you envision as in these roles in there, so I mean, I've talked about this with a couple friends of mine that, are just as big Harry Dresden fans as I am. And, yeah, we've thrown out some pretty good casting ideas on this. And, it would definitely be something that, we would like to see, hugely. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, and my other friends are not the only ones. So, I have heard, however, that they did do a Harry Dresden series, but I guess that they really did not have it based off the books at all. And I guess the whole thing was just a flop, an epic fail. And that's disappointing. And hopefully that isn't something that, really holds them back from doing it. So, but at any rate, that's the show. I thank you very much for listening. Y'all have a wonderful day, wonderful evening. Don't mind the truck passing gas in the background. Yeah, I know I'm not right. All right, guys, have a great one. Catch you next time. Rest well.
stranger to you and me.